is up, everyone out there in the world of YouTube? It's me, your buddy Nessa, and this is the Squared Circle Addicts YouTube channel. Now, if you read the title of this video, you probably know what I'm going to be talking about. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the clusterfuck. I'm calling it that. Known as Hell in the Cell 2019. Took place yesterday. Yeah. Usually you guys know me. I am a WWE mark. I am a WWE fangirl. I am a WWE diehard. But I will say that last night's Hell in the Cell pay-per-view was quite possibly the worst pay-per-view WWE has put on this year. And it sucks because yesterday was my birthday and I was like, hey, it's been a long time since my birthday fell on a Sunday and then I get to watch a wrestling pay-per-view. I was super stoked going into it. If you saw my short predictions video that I did as I covered my experience meeting Becky Lynch, you saw that I was excited, you saw that I was hyped, but man, yesterday it fell flat. It didn't deliver. It only had 5 matches on the card. The opener was Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch, or should I say Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship. Then it was Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns taking on Eric Rowan and Luke Harper. Then it was this random match that I didn't even know we were going to get. The Women's Tag Team Championships being defended as Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defended their tag team titles against the Kabuki Warriors. And then the 4th match, Bayley defending her SmackDown Women's Championship against Charlotte Flair. And then, of course, the main event, Seth Rollins defending his Universal Championship against the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. On paper, that looks like it would be an amazing pay-per-view, right? On paper, it looks amazing. But no, it wasn't that. It wasn't that. You know, and before I get into all the negativity, I want to say something. The best match of the night was by far the Boss versus the Man versus the Boss, whatever order you want to put it in. Those two tore the freaking house down. They gave each other all they had, and I'm not surprised. I didn't expect any less from these two. The last time that they wrestled each other one-on-one, I believe, was at Unstoppable in NXT, and that was a phenomenal match. And it was cool because this match had callbacks to that match, even all the way down to the very end when Becky Lynch made Sasha Banks tap out. Spoiler alert if you guys didn't watch it. And then, you know, they had this part where Sasha was crying and she was holding her arm, and that's exactly what Becky Lynch did when Becky Lynch tapped out to Sasha Banks the last time that they met one-on-one in a ring together. So there was definitely callbacks, and I definitely think that it was intentional. And then even after all the drama that went down last night at Hell in the Cell, on Twitter, WWE asked their fans which match they enjoyed the most, and Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks dominated the poll. Even before the match started, when there was a poll about which match you were most excited for, that also dominated Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch. So, WWE, you say you care about what we think. If that's the case, please let the women main event more often, because the main event you gave us last night was absolute garbage. A steaming pile of garbage. And here's the thing. I love Seth Rollins. I love Bray Wyatt. I love The Fiend. And I get that there's some people that saw that finish, and for those of you who do not know, it technically at first was being ruled a disqualification because Seth Rollins hit Bray Wyatt in the face with a sledgehammer. But it's like, how the fuck do you get a disqualification in a Hell in a Cell match? That makes no sense. And then now they're saying, oh, actually, it wasn't a disqualification. We're ruling it a no contest. This is not the UFC. And I get it. They want to maybe legitimize professional wrestling. And I don't mean that as a knock to professional wrestling because, hello, it's my favorite sport. Otherwise, I would not be talking to you guys today. But it's just, it doesn't... It doesn't make sense. And then I hear people saying that, hey, Nessa, you're missing the point. Or, hey, everyone, you're missing the point. The Fiend doesn't care about championships. Fiend just wanted Seth Rollins to go to that dark side, because let me tell you, Seth Rollins hit the Fiend with like 11 curb stomps. He hit him with steel chairs. He hit him with the pedigree. He pretty much threw the freaking kitchen sink at the Fiend, and the Fiend would not die. The Fiend would not go down. And then he got the sledgehammer and beat the shit out of him, and then they rolled in a no contest or whatever. So I guess people are saying the whole point of that was to have Seth Rollins tap into his dark side, the bad side that we all know that exists within him, because Bray Wyatt's whole thing is, there's two parts of all of us. There's the good side and there's the bad side, and that's what you see with Bray Wyatt when you use Bray Wyatt in the Firefly Funhouse, and then you see him as the Fiend. It's like two different entities. I get that. I get that storytelling, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I have to like it. And I don't. Like, I'm hearing on Twitter and other social media platforms that WWE basically backed themselves in the corner because Vince McMahon didn't want to take the title off of Seth, and also he didn't want the Fiend to lose. If that's the case, then why the fudge did you give us this match so damn early? Like, we're barely in October, Survivor Series hasn't happened yet, the Rumble hasn't happened yet, SummerSlam hasn't happened yet, Mania hasn't happened yet, the 4 big pay-per-views haven't happened yet. And if I was running a company, I would think I'm going to put a match like The Fiend versus Seth Rollins in a bigger pay-per-view, not a secondary pay-per-view like Hell in a Cell. So this match shouldn't have even happened so soon. In fact, when I saw this match being announced, I was like, oh, okay, well, The Fiend's going to win, and we know Seth Rollins is going to lose, because there's no way they're going to make The Fiend lose. But now, technically, he lost. And I don't get it. I don't get it. And it upset people so much that they were chanting, AEW, AEW, AEW. By the way, for those of you wondering, I actually didn't watch it live. All of this stuff I am gathering from what I heard on Twitter and from snippets that I did watch, because for whatever reason, when I was watching it, the stream that I usually use was bugging out, so I missed a good chunk of this pay-per-view, and when I went back and rewatched it on the WWE Network, of course everything was edited out. I tried to watch it live on the WWE Network, but apparently you can't cast on Google Chromecast during live events, which I don't know why WWE Network did that. Thanks a lot for making me not be able to watch a pay-per-view on my freaking TV. Like, I don't know. That's beside the point, though. But people were chanting AEW. People were booing the shit out of Seth Rollins, which is a bad it's a bad look, because he is face right now, and he's our Universal Champion, and now he's getting booed to shit. This is like what they did with Roman Reigns all those years back. Like, you guys are making wrong decisions. I hope that tonight when Seth comes out, I hope he, I'm pretty sure he's going to be met with boos. I'm absolutely positive, and I hope he says something along the lines of, screw you guys, I did what I had to do. But I don't get why this match happened so early. They should have saved it for later down the road. And furthermore, if they were going to end it in a disqualification, if they were going to do like a screwy finish, they should have booked it as a regular match, not Hell in a Cell, because now that it ended in a no contest, is disqualification, whatever you want to call it, it ruins the concept of Hell in a Cell, a concept that's been going on for 20 plus years. So I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not happy with it. I hated it. It was stupid. I don't know why they did it. And I hear people saying that, oh, I'm not going to watch Raw, I'm not going to watch SmackDown anymore, I'm going to cancel my WWE Network. In fact, WWE canceled WWE Network was trending in the US earlier today. I'm not going to go that far and say, oh, I'm not going to watch anymore, because that's just, I'm not going to do that. There's reasons why that I still watch. There's more than enough reasons that I'm still invested, but That being said, I'm not happy with how the ending of Hell in a Cell went down. There's a lot of other things that I'm upset about as well, and we're going to get into that because, man, I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed. Moving on, I guess, we have new Raw Women's, not Raw Women's Tag Team Champions, but Women's Tag Team Champions, the Kabuki Warriors, finally have a title run in WWE, which is so well deserved. This has been something that people have been clamoring for a while, especially because a lot of people feel that Asuka got buried on the main roster after, she so randomly dropped the title to Charlotte Flair, so Charlotte Flair could be added in the main event of WrestleMania this past year. To be completely honest with you guys, though, I'm going to be real, and I might get a lot of dislikes for this, and that's fine, but I've never really been a fan of Asuka. She's a phenomenal wrestler, but I've never really connected with her, and I never really liked the whole undefeated streak thing, because I get it, wrestling is a predetermined sport, but every time she wrestled, it was like, well, shit, I already know what's going to happen. She's going to win, and it took the genuine excitement out of wrestling for me, so to be honest, I was never really a fan. Kairi Sane, I'm a little bit more of a fan. She's a little bit more likable to me. But as far as the Joshi style wrestlers in WWE, my favorite is, truthfully, it's Io Shirai. So I'm not really a big fan of the Kabuki Warriors. I know a lot of you guys are happy that they finally have these tag titles, but I would prefer someone like Fire and Desire, or the Boss and Hug Connection, or back then when they were a thing, the Riot Squad, or, in fact, I would prefer that they were still on the Iconics. I don't think the Iconics got a fair run with the tag team titles. They could have done so much more there. Same thing with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I was loving their tandem, and I know their tandem isn't over, but it's just really? They lose the titles already? And then not only that, but it's well, then are they heels? Because they used the green mist and they cheated. That's a cheat move. So does that make them heel? Because clearly Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross are face. So that's just really weird to me, because I can't really see Kairi Sane as a heel. Asuka I can, because I've seen some of her work outside of WWE, but I don't know. Kairi Sane being a heel doesn't make sense to me. So that booking decision was all very confusing to me, especially because the match was so randomly added. It was oh, okay, they're wrestling each other. Cool. Go out there and entertain us. I don't know. I'm not really happy about that either. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but it's mine. So give me shit in the comments below if you'd like. I don't know. It all helps. You guys are talking. It matters. But yeah, then of course you had Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan versus Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. Great match, by the way, and I love the show of respect between Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns at the end. That was probably one of the booking decisions that I didn't mind. And then of course, I'm not gonna harp too much on that match, but then of course you had Becky Lynch defending her Raw Women's Championship. As I said earlier, I think it was the best match of the night, and it sucks because I feel like it's kind of getting lost that it was the best match of the night because of the fact that the ending was so shitty, and people are bitching so much about the ending that they're forgetting about how great the opener was. And again, I think easily right up there along with Io Shirai and Candice LeRae, I think this match, and as well as Sasha Banks and Ronda Rousey at Royal Rumble, I think this match is easily in the top contenders for best women's match of 2019. But I'm not too surprised because, it involved Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks. So, what did you guys expect? You know what I mean? I thought it was a great match. Like I said, there was a lot of callbacks. I liked how they both showed signs of desperation using weapons like the chain and the kendo stick and the numerous steel chairs. I loved it. I loved that they beat the crap out of each other. That's when you know that people have chemistry in the ring, because they literally go all out to make you feel like this matters, and that's what they did. And I think, honestly, they should have main evented. I think the crowd would have went home a lot happier, because clearly throughout that entire match the crowd was divided. A lot of people wanted Sasha, a lot of people wanted Becky, so I think people would have been happy either way. However, there is a little bit of negativity coming off of that match, as there always is, because this morning I went on Twitter and now there's being articles being posted about, is Becky Lynch the modern day Roman Reigns? Which I don't know how the fuck that makes sense, because Roman Reigns is still an active wrestler. But I guess what they're trying to ask us is, do you think Becky Lynch is being shoved down our throats the way that Roman Reigns is, because she's always winning and she's been winning since April? No, that's not it. That's not even the same thing. See, the thing about Roman Reigns is that when he was getting his massive push, and this is no disrespect to Roman Reigns, because I have come around to the guy, I don't mind him, but the difference between him and Becky Lynch is, when Roman Reigns was getting pushed and getting all these opportunities, we did not want that. Our guy was Daniel Bryan at the time, or anybody else really, but Roman Reigns. And even though the fans, voiced their displeasure, it was just Roman Reigns this, Roman Reigns that, Roman Reigns this, Roman Reigns that, But with Becky has always kind of been, for her, in her own words, the redheaded stepchild of WWE. Even though she was one of the first called up of the 4 horsewomen of WWE, she never won the NXT title in NXT. She spent a lot of her career in catering, even though she was the inaugural SmackDown Women's Champion. And she was forgotten about. And then you noticed her climb, starting at Money in the Bank, when every time she would reach for that briefcase, that crowd went fucking bananas. And then she finally snapped and she smacked the shit out of her best friend, Charlotte Flair, and the crowd erupted. And you guys know the story. We were supposed to react badly to that. She was supposed to be painted as the heel, but every single one of us said, no, that's our girl, that's who we're going to root for. And maybe not every single one of us, because there's a few people out there that don't like Becky Lynch and that don't understand, but whatever, that's fine. WWE tried so hard for us to boo her. They even made her make fun of Edge's career-ending injury. But guess what? We still cheered the shit out of her. And that's the major difference between her and Roman Reigns. Don't tell me that Becky Lynch is the modern-day Roman Reigns. Yes, I get it. Becky Lynch is currently the face of the company, so technically she's the golden girl, right? But that's the thing. She hasn't always been the golden girl. She has literally had to fight and claw her way to where she is now. And I don't think it's fair, just because the majority wanted Sasha to win, or maybe it was 50-50, that suddenly because she beat Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch is overrated and Becky Lynch is, taking away opportunities from other women. Stop with the bullshit. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. It really isn't, and it pisses me off because it just shows you how fickle fans are these days. They finally get what we want, and then we bitch about it. I mean, I'm not doing that, but a majority of everyone is today. So, I just want to say that if you guys have been following this YouTube channel, you know that I'm a huge, massive Sasha Banks fan, and that for a majority of this feud, I was like 95-5 with Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch. But then after Saturday, when I met Becky Lynch, it became 50-50 for me, honestly. So I was like, you know what, I'm fine either way with whoever wins. And then Becky wins, and I'm like, alright, cool. But then I go on Twitter, and now everyone suddenly hates Becky Lynch. What the fuck, you guys? Like, haven't you thought that maybe, just maybe, that there's a bigger payoff for this, Like, for example, like, if Becky keeps the title till after November, which I'm sure she will, because usually Survivor Series is Raw versus SmackDown, that means she will become the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion, and that's an accomplishment on itself, because right now that title belongs to Ronda Rousey, and I know a lot of you don't want that title to belong to Ronda Rousey. So can't you just look at the positives, please? Please, just look at the positives. Like, even I want Becky to earn that title of longest reigning Raw Women's Champion, and I'm a Ronda Rousey fan, but I think Becky Lynch deserves that title more. So, who's to say that she won't lose it tonight? Sometimes that happens, you know, they lose it after a pay-per-view, because a lot of people keep speculating that Becky Lynch is going back to her home, Becky Lynch is going back to SmackDown. So if that's the case, she's obviously going to have to drop it, you know, and maybe that's tonight, maybe that's Survivor Series, maybe that's TLC. I get it, a lot of times we're not patient, but just be patient. I'm pretty sure Sasha's going to get her moment in the sun. And that is going to allow me to segue to the next one, and what I'm about to say in this next one, you guys might be like, well, you just said to be patient, so you can't say this. I already know that I might come across that way. And I saved this one for last because it is the one that damaged me the most. In fact, I can't believe I'm admitting this on camera, but this result made me cry. I actually freaking cried. I had to sit in the bathroom for like 20 minutes, almost a half an hour, to get my shit together because I didn't want people to know that I was crying. And if they end up watching this, they're gonna know anyway. But I was so sad because this shit happened on my birthday, guys. And if you guys know me, you know what match I'm about to talk about. And that was the SmackDown Women's Championship match as my favorite wrestler in the entire world, Bayley, defended her title against Charlotte Flair. And the end result was Bayley tapping out to the figure eight. Charlotte Flair is now a 10-time women's champion. Now here's the thing, you guys. I don't hate Charlotte Flair. Okay, I think Charlotte Flair is a phenomenal wrestler. Do I think she's the best women's wrestler in WWE? No, I think that's Sasha Banks. But is Charlotte Flair second? Yeah, definitely, 100%. You know, Charlotte Flair deserves all the accolades. She's great. She's fantastic. But it's getting really hard to justify 10 title reigns in a 4-year tenure. 10 title reigns in 4 years, you guys. Like, come on, dude. Really? Does it really need to happen? Like, no disrespect, or maybe a little bit of disrespect. You hear all these people bitching this morning and today about Becky Lynch is taking away opportunities from other women. Nah, man. If any woman is doing that, it's not Becky Lynch. It's Charlotte fucking Flair. Again, I don't hate Charlotte Flair. I have nothing against her as a person. I think she's a great wrestler. But her booking makes me want to gouge my freaking eyes out. I am so sick of it. And I know what you guys are thinking. You're probably thinking, you're only saying that because it's Bayley. That's a large part of it. Yeah, that's a large part of it. But I have felt this way for a while because I was one of those people that did not want Charlotte Flair in that main event of WrestleMania. She didn't need to be there. She didn't need it. She doesn't need a lot of the things that she gets. Honestly, we already know she's freaking great. Does she need title reign after title reign? I don't think so. And it's just very frustrating to me. It makes me want to just, Charlotte, I'm sorry, I don't hate you, but your booking just punched me in the face. Like, I don't get it. I don't get this thing. And again, maybe it's a bias because I love Bayley so damn much. You know, because I'm going to say something, and some of you may agree, may disagree, but every title reign that Bayley has had on the main roster, whether it be the Raw Women's title, the Women's Tag Team titles, and now the SmackDown's Women's title, has been treated like a throwaway reign. Like it didn't really matter. Like there was no fucking effort put into it whatsoever. You know, she randomly wins the title on Raw from Charlotte Flair, by the way. And I was happy. I was like, fuck yeah, my favorite wrestler is the women's champion. But at the same time, I was like, but already? Like, what happened to that underdog climb that we were supposed to get? We got it right away. And then they ruined it by pairing her with Alexa Bliss. And this is not a knock to Alexa Bliss, because if y'all know me, you also know that I love the goddess. But they did this whole, this is your life segment, where they pretty much made fun of Bayley and said that she could never have a boyfriend and all this stupid shit. And then, like, they did that thing at, you know, Extreme Rules where she didn't want to use the kendo stick because it wasn't in her character. They ruined Bayley with that, okay? And then Bayley fans, the huggers, the loyals, whatever you want to call us now, we waited and we waited and we waited and we waited and we waited for a moment, and then, boom, her and Sasha Banks become the inaugural women's tag team champions, and then we all know how that ended. That was a freaking short-ass reign. They won it in February at Elimination Chamber, and then they dropped it in April at WrestleMania. And then Sasha Banks disappeared and had to go deal with her mental issues and had to take a step back. But that reign was a joke. As the inaugural champions, they shouldn't have lost it that soon. They went on NXT and talked about how they wanted to defend it against everyone and how they wanted to defend it across all brands. Did they get to do that? No, they didn't get to do that. And that was so freaking stupid. Like, why? Why? And then Bayley wins the Money in the Bank this year, and let me tell you, I popped. I was so happy. I was like, yes! Because truthfully, I didn't think she was going to win. I was happy that she was in it, but sometimes I don't have faith in WWE, and I was like, there's no way they're going to give Bayley this, and then they did. And then she won it against Charlotte Flair, and then she was the champion, and I was like, yes! Bayley makes history. She's the first ever Grand Slam Women's Champion. And then things were going okay, but then her first feud again with Alexa Bliss, and it was like, why are you even doing this? Alexa Bliss is on Raw. What the fuck is your problem? And then I guess the whole point of that was for Bayley to get redemption against Alexa and prove that she could beat Alexa. She did that. Fine. And then she gets thrown into a feud with Ember Moon. And Ember Moon is a great wrestler, but that feud had no story, no build, no anything. And then they randomly wrestled each other at SummerSlam. Bayley retained. Great. And then instantly, be quiet. And then instantly, she goes back to Charlotte Flair. She goes back to Charlotte Flair. Mind you, in every freaking house show that they had for WWE, guess who went over? Bayley went over for Charlotte Flair. And then, of course, Bayley went over on Charlotte Flair at Clash of Champions, right? And then, for a while, we're like, oh shit, Bayley doesn't even have an opponent for Hell in a Cell. Who's her opponent gonna be? She was even on Twitter literally calling out the entire roster. She called out Liv Morgan, she called out Zelina Vega, she called out Candice LeRae. She was calling out everybody because she was like, I want an opponent. And then they gave her Charlotte Flair. And then in between that, Bayley turned heel, which was something that I never thought I would see. Okay? Ever in a million years. But here we are. And then, again, like I said, Clash of Champions, Bayley successfully defends. Leading up to Hell in a Cell, she didn't have an opponent. And then randomly, I think it was on like Saturday, they're like, oh, by the way, Charlotte Flair challenging Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And I'm like, oh, okay. This is what we're getting. And we go to yesterday, and she loses. Bayley is a newly developed heel. There is no way that you can tell me or justify to me that she should be losing her second televised pay-per-view match as a heel already. Like, why? Why? You give Bayley this huge character arc only to be like, we're going to give the title to Charlotte again. Number 10, because, you know, they want her to reach her dad's milestone, I guess. Like, I don't fucking get it. And then, this is what broke me. This is what broke me. At the end of the match, Bayley is crying. Whether that's legitimate or really great acting, she was crying and she said, "Are you fucking kidding me?" There's a gif of it on Twitter, and then there's another gif where she's crying and she says, "Why do they always do this to me, or why does this keep happening to me?" And it's true! Bayley keeps getting a championship, which is awesome because, again, she's the first ever Grand Slam Women's Champion, but they don't do anything with these title reigns. They don't build her. They don't make her credible, and it pisses me off because so many times on Twitter, I go on Twitter and everyone's like, "Oh, why do you like Bayley? Bayley sucks. Oh, she's the most forgettable of the four." Yeah, because they keep booking her like shit. Like, I'm so tired of it. Pamela Martinez deserves so much better, dude. She has amazing matches. She pulls out good matches out of anyone. The match that she had on SmackDown Live with Lacey Evans is proof of that. Like, I don't get it. You finally turn her heel, and then you're like, we're gonna take away your title like a month after your heel turn. Just because, because we want to give it to Charlotte. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't. Like, out of all the title reigns that out of all the title reigns that Bayley has had, the most meaningful, the one that built her up as someone credible, as a threat, as someone important, was her title reign in NXT. And there's a part of me that's like, Bayley, just fucking go back to NXT. Finn Balor went back. You go back too, because clearly they love you down there and they'll treat you with respect down there. They have not treated Bayley with respect on the main roster. And I get it. Good old Pam Martinez loves the WWE. That's her lifeblood, okay? This is what she's wanted since she was a little girl. I get it. She's living her dream, working for this company. But man, sometimes I'm just like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but sometimes I'm just like, just fucking leave. Go elsewhere. Go back to Shimmer. Go to TNA. Go to AEW. Go back to NXT. For the love of all that is holy, get off of Raw. Get off of SmackDown. Because clearly, they don't care about her. And maybe I'm just talking out of my ass, and maybe I'm a little bit emotional because I'm only a day removed. And maybe something good comes out of this. Everybody's like, well, what if, Boss and Hug get the tag team championships? That would be great. I would love that. But honestly, right now, I don't have faith in WWE right now. I'm still going to watch Raw. I'm still going to watch SmackDown. Because Bayley, because Sasha, because Becky. But, like, why are you doing this? And then it just happened to have fallen on my birthday. Like, I had to watch my favorite wrestler lose and then cry on my birthday. Like, why? Why does her title reign have to be so meaningless? I'm so sick of hearing that she's the least credible of the four horsewomen. That's not her fault. That's the way she gets booked.